How's it going, everyone? Yo, it's your boy Corey here, aka Crasher, back with a new video, and ladies and gentlemen, you might want to strap yourselves in, you might want to grab a bag of popcorn and your favorite soda, because we are about to get into it yet again with Pokemon Go, and more specifically, Niantic. And honestly, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, it shouldn't even be a surprise, it shouldn't even be a spoiler when it comes to the amount of incompetence and the amount of tone deafness that Niantic really truly exhibit when it comes to their Pokemon Go player base. We're going to be going over a few articles here in this video that documents exactly that. Not just tone deafness, not just incompetence, but issues as well, still plaguing the game even after all of this time has passed. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. So the first article we're going to be taking a look at, all of them come from Dexerto, but the first one is titled, Pokemon Go players slam out of touch Niantic for temporary reward as incense backlash grows. Niantic's Pokestop contest drew backlash after Pokemon Go players found it was limited to 5 locations and only temporary. Angry fans were critical of the competition following the game's nerf of incense spawns. During the launch of Seasons of Alola in March 2022, Niantic sparked backlash after announcing that it was slashing the spawn rates for incense. The move particularly hit users playing at home or unable to travel long distances. The mobile developer drew further criticism on March 11th when they revealed a contest for Pokemon Go players to get a Pokestop installed near them. The catch, however, is that only 5 trainers can win, and it's only temporary. The official Pokemon Go Twitter account announced the contest in a March 11th tweet. In the social media post, the developer revealed that they were holding the Pokestop contest to celebrate the game's Community Day event. In the spirit of hashtag Pokemon Go Community Day, up to 5 lucky trainers will get a new, temporary Pokestop added in their community. To enter, just tweet a video about your local community using hashtag MyPokemonGoCommunity, they wrote. Go fans were outraged after discovering that the Pokestops were only temporary and limited to just 5 players out of the millions of active trainers in the mobile title. Many took to social media to voice their anger over the contest, such as one user who wrote, "Only 5 Pokestops out of the millions who play? What's the point of even applying?" Another player agreed and said, "Tell me how out of touch you are with the Pokemon Go community without actually telling me how out of touch you are with the Pokemon Go community, Niantic. Up to 5 temporary Pokestops, but only for US trainers. We are also ignoring all incense complaints." Trainers also used the announcement tweet to raise their growing anger over Niantic nerfing the incense item on March 1st. "This is terrible. This game is losing hope after the company nerfed the incense," one comment read. A player angrily replied, "Please revert the incense back and stop discriminating and being ableist towards your less able part of the fan base." One trainer called out the mobile developer for not listening to the community. "You know, it really saddens me that you refuse to listen to your players. You say you'll do better with communication, yet you're still showing no effort in listening to us. Please remove the incense nerf. People are clearly not happy." This isn't the first time Pokemon Go players have been unhappy with the game recently. On March 9th, trainers complained that spawn rates were poor for the Season of Alola following the company's decision to nerf incense at the start of the event. Only time will tell whether Niantic will listen to the community over the latest changes to the game. If this Pokestop contest is anything to go by, the community outrage doesn't seem to be dying down anytime soon. So yeah, there's really not much to add onto this other than the obvious fact that Niantic clearly lied in their quote-unquote declaration to be better about communication towards their player base. That right there was a pretty damn blatant lie on their end. And it shows here because rather than addressing the elephant in the room, they decided to hold a contest which, ironically enough, has to do with the very issue that the community voiced their concerns on, and it was not only limited to US players, but you only had 5 players reaping the benefits of this contest out of the millions of players of this game. Like, that right there is just absolutely baffling. And look, I can understand that the purpose of Pokemon Go is to get out of the house and go out, get some fresh air, get some exercise, socialize, mingle about while playing Pokemon Go. I completely understand the main premise of the game. However, Niantic, do I need to remind you, like a parent reminding a 5-year-old, that we're still in the middle of a damn pandemic? COVID-19 is still a thing. Wake up, get a grip, and smell the goddamn roses of reality here. But let's get into the second article here. Niantic must reverse Pokemon Go's incense changes or risk another boycott. Recent changes to the way incense works in Pokemon Go have sparked a backlash among players, with many questioning whether Niantic are listening to the community at all. Well, here's an easy one. No, they're not listening. But let's continue. When many countries went into lockdown in 2020, one of the best changes Niantic introduced was to make incense, which attracts Pokemon to your location, more effective when stationary. This meant people could still catch new Pokemon and complete research tasks from the comfort and safety of their homes. It was also a great change for players in locations with extreme weather conditions, disabled people who can't always get out and about, or those of us who simply don't have the time to play for more than a few minutes on their lunch break. Sounds like a win-win situation, right? But at the beginning of the season of Alola, out of nowhere, Niantic reversed these changes. While incense now lasts for 90 minutes instead of 60 minutes, the Pokemon spawn rate when stationary has decreased from 1 every minute to just 1 every 5 minutes. This is a pretty significant nerf that means the boost in incense duration actually ends up being a negative for lots of players. Something that was especially apparent during March's Community Day event. Having a shit health day and can't even use my favorite game as a distraction anymore, tweeted one player, while another added, if you have to work, are disabled, or just have life to deal with, just don't bother. When will Niantic understand this is clearly an unwelcome change? It's all looking very similar to last year's infamous Pokemon No Day boycott, where players protested the removal of increased Pokestop and gym interaction distances, an exploration bonus that helped promote social distancing. Some frustrated fans have now started using the hashtag #HearUsNiantic once again in an attempt to get a response from the game's creators, while others are using a brand new hashtag, #NianticDidn'tHearUs. Sounds like a nice hashtag to go off of, actually. The most frustrating thing about this isn't the incense change itself, but the lack of proper communication. When the stationary incense boost was announced in November 2020, Niantic promised to give at least 1 month's notice before reversing that, but they didn't do that. In fact, players in certain parts of the world had only a couple of hours' notice before the changes to incense were made. To make matters worse, details of these changes were hidden away in a generic blog post, which many players will have missed, while the main announcement for the season of Alola disguised the nerf as a bonus that would reward players with increased incense effectiveness while moving, which turned out to be a damn blatant lie. The lack of clarity has clearly left many players confused, with Google searches for incense not working skyrocketing in the weeks following the change. If a change is so drastic that players think the item isn't even working anymore, surely that's a sign that it's a bad decision. For many Pokemon Go players, incense is essential to their enjoyment of the game. These are premium items too, with lots of people spending real money on them, so making the changes to the way they work without a clear explanation feels more than a little unfair. more than a little unfair. I'd say that's highly unfair in my honest view. Despite promising to improve communications with fans, Niantic have made another misstep with these incense changes. If they don't reverse their decision, or at the very least start listening to the community, there's a real risk that they'll face another major boycott from fans. And you know something? After reading through this article here, this actually manages to make Niantic even worse here, because yeah, there was that boycott last year, and you would think that any good company would take from that a major lesson to not disparage, disrespect, and shirk off the criticisms of your customers, the very customers that make the game what it is today, and by proxy of that, make the company what it is today. You would think that perhaps maybe Niantic would have learned something massive from it, and they would have actually stuck to their guns, stuck to their promises that they made. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We're at that same point yet again, where another boycott could potentially be brewing here. And here's the thing as well, is that you would think that the first boycott would have worked. You would have think that it would have registered a very powerful message in Niantic's two-brain cell mind of theirs, but here's the thing, is that it clearly didn't work. And this is where I come in and say, look, you don't just vote with your voices, you vote with your damn wallet. Hit them where it hurts. Don't spend money on the game, don't play the game until they are forced to come out of wherever the hell they're hiding and actually answer for all of their sins and all of the times that they had left us fans high and dry. Like, I know it may be hard for some of the hardcore players to hear this out, but here's the thing, is that really, the best way to make a point known is to vote with your wallet, not just your voice. So now let's move on to the next article that details glitches costing trainers shiny Pokemon in Pokemon GO. Pokemon GO GPS glitch is costing trainers shiny Pokemon. Here we go again. A strange Pokemon GO glitch has been costing people shiny Pokemon, and it looks like GPS drift is making the game act up again. Niantic's AR title has given players a fun incentive to travel, walk, and safely adventure nearby areas throughout its run. But the game's read on someone's location can get wonky when players get vertical or travel at a fast distance. This has led to people missing a Pokemon encounter by buffering and loading to a different spot in a matter of seconds. GPS bugs have long been known to exist in AR titles, but this one is having an unfortunate effect on the Pokemon that they managed to find. Reddit user Pokidoki24 shared their experiences of losing out on multiple shiny Pokemon variants, which was met with plenty of reactions from people who've found it themselves. I've encountered 3 shinies this week and all ran away, they said. Should I report this? Or I'm just unlucky. They missed out on shinies for mons like Tailo, Turtwig, and Chansey across different days. The trainer said they all ran away on the first attempt, and it's been happening more than once. The plot thickened after finding out that the player would catch Pokemon during his off time at work up on the topmost floor. Unfortunately, they're not the only people who've come across this bug at high altitudes. It's just a theory, but maybe being in the office is creating enough drift that the game is not registering your location correctly, one trainer surmised. I have a similar Pokemon running issue when I load the game from my basement. Other people also pointed to the thick slabs of concrete in their buildings as a possible reason for the disruption. Though it's unclear exactly why this could be happening, it's being strongly linked to GPS drift issues that some players have had success managing. If you get hit with the Pokemon GO GPS glitch just as you see a coveted Pokemon, simply exit out the game before trying to engage it. If it's anything like trying to catch something after losing internet/GPS signal, you might be able to re-encounter the mon by restarting the app and finding it again, one player said. At any rate, if you see a shiny Pokemon when you're in bad internet/GPS signal, wait until you know your signal is stable before you actually throw any balls. Pokemon Go players may experience more GPS bugs in the future. While there's no guaranteed way of avoiding the problem, you may have success in working around the problem until it gets fixed. And that right there is just another example, ladies and gentlemen, of how broken Pokemon Go is thanks to GPS drift. This has been an ongoing issue for pretty much the inception of this game, all the way back in 2016 when it was first released worldwide. GPS drift has always been an on-again, off-again issue for a countless amount of players throughout the world. And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, we are now in 2022, which goes to show just how little Niantic really cares about the stability of the game, as well as the playability of the game, and how this sort of issue is still plaguing players even to this very day. It really goes to show where Niantic's priorities lie, which definitely don't lie with the community. Like, rather than trying to focus on the betterment of the game as well as community morale with actual support and communication from Niantic themselves to the community, they just absolutely seemingly don't care. I mean, it's written on the walls, ladies and gentlemen. Like, anyone can see this for themselves, that Niantic don't give a shit unless you find a way to line their pockets. Then you might be a little bit lucky with them giving even a half of a shit as to what you have to say. But yeah, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, there's really nothing more I can say about these topics in this video. It's just honestly really sad, the point that Pokemon Go has gotten thanks to Niantic and their continued dumbassery. That's what we're going to call it from now on, is Niantic's dumbassery, which is a nice way to sum up all of what Niantic is about. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you for your time as well. Have yourself a damn good one, people. I'll see you next time.